Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into something wild, a piece of advertising that sits right at the intersection of modern everyday anxiety and straight-up ancient mysticism. We're looking at a pitch from a Singapore-based practitioner who claims he can solve life's most painful relationship problems using supernatural intervention. It sounds crazy, right? But as we break this down, you'll see it actually gives us a really captivating look at how deeply personal, very human struggles are being targeted with promises of actual magic. Let's get into it. So, this advertisement, it doesn't waste any time with vague promises. It tackles deeply emotional domestic scenarios with just, well, surprising bluntness. It says, your husband wants to divorce you. The relationship has become so bad that it has reached the point of divorce. I mean, wow. It goes straight for the jugular of domestic crisis. It's clearly targeting people who are likely sitting in a state of extreme emotional vulnerability and distress. And honestly, that bluntness brings us to a super compelling question, one that's going to guide our whole explainer today. How exactly does an advertisement propose to solve these intensely personal, totally chaotic life crises? You know, when human relationships break down, it's usually incredibly complicated. It's a mess. Yet this pitch presents one single, specialized figure who supposedly has the power to just wave away these massive hurdles. Section 1. Meet the Black Magic Expert. Guruji's Credentials. Notice how quickly the text works to establish absolute authority here. It doesn't just say, hey, I can do magic. No, it lists very specific credentials to build your trust. He's dubbed certified, trained, and experienced, a famous black magic specialist. He's explicitly ranked as a top 10 astrologer in Singapore and identified as a tantric Hindu astrologer. And to ground all these high-flying mystical titles in immediate reality, boom, there's a direct, accessible phone number to reach him. It's this absolutely fascinating blend of ancient mystical authority and modern service industry marketing. Moving on to Section 2, Solving Modern Love Problems, the Heartbreak Solutions. Right off the bat, we see a rapid-fire list of highly specific romantic anxieties. Look at the language used here. We've got depression due to love problem, the feeling of getting stuck in love marriage, or the sheer utter panic when a lover has run away or is refusing to marry. This isn't some abstract, airy philosophy. This is a grounded, almost clinical checklist of modern heartbreak scenarios that are, let's be real, incredibly common, especially among younger folks trying to navigate messy relationships. But I really want to draw your attention to one specific, kind of alarming line. Lover has been controlled by someone. Notice how this recurring theme of control pops up so early. It totally frames emotional distance or a partner's change of heart, not as a natural evolution of a relationship, but as an act of external manipulation. The implication here is wild. If your partner is pulling away, it's not because you guys are incompatible, it's because someone else literally hijacked their agency. And hey, if someone else took control, well, Guruji can supposedly take that control right back. All right, Section 3, Halting Divorce and Family Drama, Escalating Interventions. Now, this is where the escalation gets truly fascinating. Look at this connection. On one hand, you have a hyper-specific, totally everyday domestic grievance, a husband who is under the control of his meddling mother. We've all heard stories like that, right? But the proposed solution to stop the ensuing divorce? Resort to black magic. I mean, it bridges the gap between an ordinary family squabble and invoking the dark arts in a single bound. It's a massive leap. There is zero room here for ambiguity or, couples therapy. This promise is all about absolute certainty and instant results. Quote, Guruji gives effective remedies for you which solve the problem of divorce immediately. Think about that. In the face of complex, messy, deeply entrenched family breakdowns, they are selling the ultimate comfort. Immediate, guaranteed resolution. No hard work required, just a magical fix. Section 4. Overcoming intercaste marriage obstacles, societal pressures. Next up, the source pivots to very real-world cultural hurdles. It explicitly mentions scenarios where parents are not giving consent or the distinct, heavy challenges of intercaste marriages. These are massive, deeply rooted societal roadblocks that can cause immense heartbreak for couples. And they are recognized right here as prime targets for mystical intervention. The ad is basically promising to bulldoze societal roadblocks that might otherwise feel totally insurmountable to the people involved. And the claim isn't just that he can do it, it's that he has this incredibly extensive track record. The source says he's successfully solved thousands of these love marriage cases while living in Singapore. Thousands!
That number is used so strategically to project immense success. It's meant to reassure the potential client that their seemingly impossible cultural or family problem is, for Guruji, just another Tuesday.
Section 5. The Mystical Toolkit, Methods of the Specialist. So how does he actually do it? Well, the pitch specifically names a practice called Vashikaran, grouping it right alongside black magic and love spells as the primary tools for the job. When parents refuse consent or intercaste issues pop up, the promised solution isn't mediation or communication. Nope, it's a direct application of these mystical deployable tools meant to just force a romantic resolution. Look at how this all builds into a highly structured menu of services. It literally maps out exact symptoms alongside their corresponding mystical cures. It reads almost like an auto repair shop's price list, but, for supernatural crises. Got an ex-love? Get them back by black magic. Dealing with an unruly lover? Control them with a love spell. Evil spirits? Instant deliverance. It's this fascinatingly clinical, almost corporate approach to the supernatural, taking profound human chaos and turning it into a neat, solvable checklist. And what's truly mind-blowing is how casually the ordinary is mixed in with the absolutely terrifying. You have completely traditional, widely accepted services like horoscope reading and matchmaking sitting directly next to get rid of death spell and instant deliverance from evil spirits. Literally, getting your stars read and fighting off a fatal death curse are treated as standard, run-of-the-mill services offered under the exact same roof.
But through all of this, a really distinct psychological pattern emerges. Look at the phrase control lover with love spell. The language heavily, and I mean heavily, emphasizes gaining power over others as the ultimate solution to interpersonal chaos. Whether it's ripping a husband out of the control of his mother or casting a spell to literally control a lover, this whole pitch is fundamentally selling agency and dominance to people who are probably feeling utterly powerless in their own personal lives.
Which brings us to a final, underlying thought I want to leave you with today. We really have to ask ourselves, are these mystical services actually about the mechanics of magic, or are they simply a perfect mirrored reflection of our deepest modern anxieties? Because while the solutions proposed are undeniably supernatural, the problems themselves, that crushing fear of divorce, the heavy weight of parental pressure, and the desperate, aching pain of lost love, those reflect incredibly grounded, universal human fears. It shows us just how far we're willing to go and exactly what kind of certainty we're searching for when our world feels like it's falling apart. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I hope it gave you a fascinating new perspective on how we market solutions to the human condition.